Hi everybody, these are some bows we're going to make tonight. I hope that it's clear enough, and let's get to it. First of all, I took a piece of wood and I drilled 2 holes in the exact center next to each other, and then I'm going to drill a hole on the end. Now that's not completely necessary, it just helps a little bit. This is like a bow machine. You can buy the bow maker and you can buy other machines. I don't use this very often. I have just found that it is just easier to make it in my hands. But if your hands hurt, by all means, do this. Okay, I put some wood glue down in the bottom of the holes, and I'm using hot glue, and I'm just putting them in there. So what this is going to do is it's going to hold the ribbon for me. I'm making lines for 1 inch so that I kind of have an idea, a guide, so that I know approximately how long I'm doing my loops. Then went ahead and I wrote in the numbers so it makes it easier. Now I'm going to grab this ribbon. Now this is a one-sided ribbon. This is going to make it easier to make if it's a one-sided ribbon, because you don't want to just loop, 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 because then you're going to have the wrong side showing. So I put the spool on the one piece, or the one dowel, and then I start making the bow. Okay, so I decide approximately how long I want the loop. And first I cut a piece for the tails, and I'm putting that down first. Center, I pinch it and put it down with the right side facing up. Now I'm pulling the ribbon and I'm twisting it so that my right side is always on the outside. So right in the middle, you just twist it. Now that's going to give you your proper loop. Well, it's going to look right. You're not going to have wrong sides sticking out. So I'm going to continue doing this. Now I lost footage of the other ribbon, but I continued doing that. Now this is called a finger ribbon, a finger bow. Now one is I made prior with ribbon, and this is jute. So I'm just wrapping it around my fingers. When I get it as thick as I want, I pull it off. And I had that other piece of little jute that I already cut, and I'm just going to tie it firmly around the center of the bow. I'm sorry, my fingers were in the way. I was having troubles. My fingers weren't working quite the way I wanted them to work. So I just trim that off, and then I fray out the little bows, and you end up, or the loops, and you end up with a little bow. Okay, now this is another one-sided ribbon that I'm going to make, and I'm going to do it in my hands rather than using the bow maker. I'm showing you different things you can put around. You can use wire, you can use chenille stems, you can use zip ties, or whatever. Okay, so I scrunch up the end and I make a very small loop. Then because it's the wrong side up, I twist it and put the wrong side on the out, take it to the center, twist it, and I continue doing that. Each time you come to the center, you twist it so that your right side of your ribbon is on the outside, so that you're not seeing the inside. And so this is the same thing as if you're using a bow maker, but this is just easier for me to make unless I'm adding a lot of embellishments into it. Then I will use it like a bow maker. And there I am, just got it all the loops. Now I'm grabbing some wire. And then I'm going to twist that wire around. I use my needle nose pliers there, and I twist it and make it really, really tight. The tighter it is, the better it will stay. You won't lose your bow. Now I didn't want, don't know if I just trimmed that off, and now I'm just securing it, turning it down the wire so you don't get poked with it. Now I'm just grabbing those loops and I am just fluffing them up, pulling them out to the sides. And that first loop is the center so that you don't see the wire. Now I'm grabbing some for my tails. I'm going to scrunch it up, and I'm going to grab a piece of wire and I'm going to feed it through the center of the bow. Turn the bow over, and I twisted it a couple of times, and then now I'm going to put that tails, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. Excuse me. And once that is done, I'm going to tuck those ends in again. I don't want to get scratched or scratch up anything I hooked it on. Okay, now I'm going to pull those to the front, make sure all my loops are nice and poofed up. And then I'm going to cut dovetails. Dovetails, you fold the end and you can cut from the bottom up to the top of the fold, or you can do the opposite to give you that dovetail. And the reason they call it a dovetail is if you've ever looked at a dove's tail, that's what the tail looks like at the end. Okay, now this is burlap ribbon, and so it is the same on both sides. Now I am measuring two pieces at 12 inches and then one at 10 inches. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hot glue gun and I'm going to loop them and glue them, because this is stiff and it won't stay. So there, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing them. I was just kind of figuring out exactly what I wanted. So I end up with 3 loops. Okay. Now, when I started before, my hot glue wasn't hot enough, so now it's hot enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and make those loops and kind of flatten it out. Now I'm pinching it in just so that I can get the idea of what I'm going to be doing. Well, this is definitely a much flatter one. Now I am deciding what I want to do around, and I realize that I shouldn't have cut that one quite so long, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue it in, And then I'm going to trim that off and glue it. And this is a much flatter bow than the others. Okay, now I'm going to take another piece of ribbon and I am going to glue it on the back to make your tails. And this one I'm just going to cut on a diagonal. Okay, I'm going to finish up putting those tails onto the bow and just get that all glued up, and there it is. Now this is a stiff fabric ribbon, no wires. Now I make 2 loops and I just push it through and then I tighten it. Now I do this with little tiny ribbons, like thin ribbons, and I'm just going to just tug and pull and tighten until I get it this size, the exact size that I want it. Now I notice that the wrong side was poking out. I don't want that. So I'm going to try it again. And it's really quite stiff, so I'm trying to get that around. And I just like if you're tying shoelaces almost. And I'm just going to pull it and just get it exactly the way I want it. And you just literally have to just pull and tug until you get it exactly the way you want it. And then you fix your tails, and it's just a simple little bow, but sometimes that's exactly what you need. And it's stiff enough that I could puff up the loops, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut that on a diagonal, and there you go. Okay, now this is a ribbon that is 2-sided, and it has wire. It's wired. Now what I'm going to do, I don't have to twist this ribbon back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accordion fold it, because it won't matter what side's sticking out because it's the same. It's kind of sheer. So I will just pinch it in the center, and after I accordion, so I'm just literally going to, I think I accordion this one. You can accordion it or you can just loop it, but I like, let's see what. This one I'm just going to roll it. I'm not going to accordion it. You can do either way. And these are all going to be the same size of loops. So we'll see how this all turns out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just finish looping this over. And then when I get to where I am done, I go ahead and cut it. And I just flatten it pretty much. And I grab my, this one I'm going to use a chenille stem. And I just pinch it in the center. And I take it around and I just twist it. Now I know that's bright yellow. You won't be able to see it, because now I'm pulling out every single one of those loops, and then I'm going to puff it up. This one I do not put tails on it, but you can. And literally I am just pulling and puffing it completely up. As I'm finishing this up, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you click it twice, you can decide to have it where you get a notification every single time that I upload a video. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Helps my channel to grow, and I hope you like this tutorial. If you have any other bows you'd like to learn, please just let me know. Bye!